Hello, everybody. It's Suzanne Tucker with Generation Mindful. You are literally a rock star for making space and time for parenting from your center, for tuning in, trusting yourself to lead and guide from your highest place. And, we don't do these things without effort. We don't reach for our highest selves without putting time and energy into it. So, I applaud you. And we're going to start with our first question, which is, I've already read through these and kind of thought about them, but I want you to see them too. So, because every question I get here, I have to tell you, they're in my inbox every day, all day, right? So your question is so awesome because it represents a question dozens, if not hundreds of people in our community are also having. Okay, so the first one. I'm still having trouble knowing exactly what to do when my daughter's in her red light brain and having a meltdown. Other advice I've read says ignore the behavior and eventually it'll go away. I realize so she's not feeling great about ignoring it completely, and she needs and wants her daughter to regulate. So she knows she needs to help her daughter regulate. And I want my daughter to know she's safe. But should I respond to her when she's screaming, "Mommy," and pulling on me to get me to do what she wants? Should I offer something else in place of what she wants? Will responding to her when she's in the red light brain make her think that it's something she should do to get attention? I've only gone through class 4, so I'm not sure if it's covered later. So just for perspective, 4 is boundaries. And then so 5 is power and 6 is intuition. Another question is when kids are in the yellow brain and I'm trying to say, you like blank or you want blank, she finds herself adding the word but, right? So you want this, but you want this, but we don't have it. Is this something I should do or leave the but out? Okay. I am so excited to dive into this. And the daughter is clingy and pulling and wanting. You are spot on. Ignoring that behavior is what society tells us will make it go away, but that is false, okay? An unmet need does not integrate. Do not be scared of holding love present in the face of someone's fear or neediness, okay? That is false. That is fear-based. You can be present to your daughter. You can hold love active and present and not have fear that you're going to create. There's so many fears about what you might create. But what I want you to know is you have a baby, a child, someone under, let's say, age 6. They are wiring their brain for connection right now. So by leading and guiding and connecting with her in that moment, even as you hold your limit, you are not coddling her and you are not creating weakness. Okay, that is all fear that we are all ingesting from society. False. So beautiful awareness you're having. You are healing around. Someone tells you ignore her, ignore it, and you're putting on new wheels, new training wheels that says, wait a minute, I'm actually going to stay in the game. I'm going to actively parent her. I'm not going to be permissive and give in, but I'm going to hold love active and present. Boy, isn't that a big thing? And I want you to know what I do is I breathe. I breathe in my nose, I breathe out my mouth, and I use my mantras. I say to myself, I love myself, I am enough. So I feel like I'm in the fire. When my child is at that place and I am there and I'm wanting to stay active and present, that is the practice of mindfulness right there. And we're not going to do it perfectly, but I want you to know that's when you're in it. So yes, when she's clingy and whiny, she's in the yellow brain. How do we meet a yellow brain? With the yellow brain. So we get low, we meet our eye contact, we use our whole body to send the signal that we are there, we are love, and that they are connected, okay? We're not trying to make her do something, okay? Kids feel worked. We're just, when we're like, did it work? We're not trying to work them. We're trying to show up and meet their emotion with love. That's it. So let go of like working them or making it work and just practice it as a mindfulness practice. Show up, get hyper present, try it, see what happens. If they continue to cling and whine and love into you and lean into you, it doesn't mean it's broken. It doesn't mean it's not working. It's actually working right in that moment. And what'll happen is it'll integrate. All that high emotion will integrate. She might cry, she might just cling, but you'll get to the other side. What happens is we get so reactive, we never get to the other side. And it might take, for some kids, a long process. But what happens is when we do this, eventually it integrates. Okay, we can't always make the space and time for it, but when you can, when you're at home and you make the space and time for it, what you'll find is for those kids that need will integrate. So yes, you can say clearly, you want this, and we are all out of that. You don't have to use the word but. Good catch. But is a trigger word. So need, have to, but those are just triggers. So you can say the same message, but remove the word. Beautiful, beautiful question. Full of insights. I feel you really integrating this work. Stay with it. Thank you for the question. The next one, how do you know if you're being a permissive parent versus a positive parent? I want you guys out there to know, I love the Q&As. We always have a theme evolve. It's so cool. I want you to know you are not taking this class alone. There's a collective consciousness in this class with you, and you'll see that theme emerging in the questions we have today. So permissive parenting means that you are respectful, but not firm. So your child doesn't know what is. It's inconsistent. So they lean on the wall, and sometimes the wall moves, sometimes it doesn't. So if the wall's moving all the time and you don't know where the wall is, it's likely that you're still finding your footing and you're leaning into permissive over autocratic. If you were parented very top down with a power person who was controlling, what happens sometimes is the pendulum swings and we move from power based to permissive because we don't want to be this way, so we kind of go the opposite way. That's okay if you notice it. If you notice the tendency to be respectful but not firm, just notice it. Don't hate it. Don't resist it. Just notice it and integrate it. It will integrate, and eventually you'll find yourself having the confidence to parent from the center place with kindness but with firmness, okay? So it's a journey, but the first step is awareness. So if you notice that you have a tendency to be respectful and kind but not clear and firm, that's cool. That's cool. Just in the noticing, you are transforming that, okay? So don't beat yourself up about whatever you are seeing. Mindfulness is like turning on the lights. And you might look around the room and go, holy cow, I got a lot of stuff, that I just pulled off the shelves that needs cleaning up. But that's how we do spring cleaning. We pull the crap off the shelves that needs to be dealt with. And we don't want to feel bad about noticing the stuff around us that we want to sort and organize. We want to feel good about it, all right? So that would be my coaching there. And then positive parenting means that you are clear, firm, and consistent. You'll notice in positive parenting that things don't always work out the way your kid wants it to work out, and that you're starting to have the confidence to have boundaries, and that you are starting to factor into the equation. If you're doing positive parenting, your needs and your child's needs are both going to be on the table. More so as they get older. With infants and little ones, when we're doing attachment parenting, it really feels like our needs take a back seat, and that's why I say we're in the trenches. And as much as we can, we need to pull in support from outside the family so that we can support our child's needs and have our own needs met also. As they get older, you'll notice your needs start to factor in more and more. And you'll notice that you're playing more and more with setting limits, and that your child is playing with disappointment and anger. And I want you to know that I used to be scared as a positive attachment-based parent 18 years ago when I started out. I was scared of high emotion. I thought high emotion for my firstborn meant I was doing it wrong. False. High emotion is beautiful when it's held with acceptance and given space. So as you play with boundaries, you're going to notice some high emotion. And I want you to know that high emotion is safe. So if you set a boundary that says, you know what, we eat at dinner and then the kitchen is closed, and that means your very disappointed 3-year-old is not eating a banana or, Cheerios at 8 at night in the bedroom like they used to? Maybe this is new for you and you're saying no without even having to say no. You just say, dinner's done. We eat at dinner. We're all done. We'll eat tomorrow. Do you see how we're saying what we want, not what we don't want? That's going to be met with resistance. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're being a powerful, clear, firm, consistent, positive parent. Okay? I hope that helps. Great question. Next one. You're going to see it's you guys are all healing and growing and transforming the same beautiful nugget, and I love it. It gets me so excited. How do you know when to set a limit? Example, she wants a specific cup when I already gave her a blue one. Is it permissive to pour it in the cup she wants? So take a deep breath. Notice the thoughts. Notice the feelings. Likely the thoughts are, I'm doing it wrong, or I'm not strict enough, or I'm a pushover, or she's working me, or am I being manipulated? You are the only one to know the answer to this question. My guess is that it's developmentally very normal for your child to want to control which cup her drink is going in. And only you will know is if you have the space to allow her that shift. And only you will know if you are feeling within the bounds of your own boundaries to ride the tide of her having that choice. There's nothing innately wrong with her wanting to say which cup. And so what I would do to remove myself from that element is, if I notice this is a ritual issue for us, I would empower my child to be making that choice. So she goes and gets her cup so that she's having more sense of control. So kind of following the Montessori way there. And if she's picking her cup, then maybe your ritual is we pick a cup and we use it, right? You want to set your daughter up to win. So if you feel like you need a boundary there, then that's your new ritual. We pick a cup and we use it. Now, if she's wanting to practice pouring, she's going to want to switch cups. And then what you're going to want to do is meet developmentally the need she's having by playing a lot of games, like in the bathroom, in the tub, with lots of cups and lots of switching and pouring. Sometimes our children are just trying to meet a need for power, for choice, or developmentally, they want to switch cups, right? Because that's a game that they love and they want to play. So do you see how there's no one answer there? But what you want to get at is the feeling you're having of I'm being worked, I'm being manipulated, and I'm just guessing that might be going on. So I want you to know that you're not doing it wrong if you allow her choice, right? And think about what need might be underneath the need that she's having to switch so you can meet the need, right? Instead of being reactive, being responsive. I hope that's helpful. And then the next one, should I continue saying positive affirmation messages to my daughter, even though she's not accepted to some of them? So her daughter's resisting the affirmations. Most of the time when my daughter's in the red light zone, it's because of her impatient and imperfection. So it's something like, I need help now, and only mommy, daddy, go away. I can't do this. It keeps falling down. Okay, so I want it to be like this. So that's what her daughter's saying. How should I say and do to those situations? What to do when she's in the red zone and tells daddy to go away? Okay, let's piece this apart. So the first part is the word should, right? No right, no wrong, only a get to. Bye-bye guilt, right? So let's just, the guilt is now gone. You're empowered to lead and guide and parent from your center, not from a place of doing it right or doing it perfect, right? Feels a little lighter. Truth is light, truth feels bright, truth will lead us where we want to go, right? So a deep breath. Great question about the affirmations. So here's what I do with affirmations. Affirmations a lot of times aren't only to make it so in our brain, but it's for us to notice where it is not so. So if you notice that a certain affirmation you're using, maybe you're using the peacemaker cards. I was going to hold them up. but maybe you're using these cards and your daughter has one like mistakes help me learn and grow that she's resistive to. See if instead of making her wrong or trying to convince her of it, see if you can just be with her in her resistance to it. So she might say, no, mistakes are bad. When I do bad, I am bad. What we want to do is like pave right over that with kids and make them wrong, right, for even thinking or saying that, because we know that a growth mindset is different than that. But then we can't really get underneath the fear or the resistance our kid is having in that moment. So instead, we want to stay in the wonder of it with them. Ask questions, listen, do your best to hold your tongue and sit on your hands when your child is meeting resistance to an affirmation. And then look inside yourself and see if it brings up any fear or worry or judgment or guilt. Because it could be that you're healing around that same thing. All right? This is truly parenting from the inside out. Because we pass on belief systems through the generations, and our children are a beautiful invitation into our own stopping points. So I hope that helps with the affirmations. You do not need to keep saying an affirmation if it's triggering your child. See, you already have the knowledge you need to work on or get underneath or like embrace that truth with them in another way. So let go of just saying the affirmation. Don't make them say it. Don't force it. Get underneath it. Maybe do some coloring, maybe do some book reading, some storytelling, bring in some play and bring in some other elements. The affirmation just brought you to the truth that this is hard for me. And that's okay, right? And then when your daughter is saying things like, I need help now, and she's feeling impatient or resistant to her imperfections, the first step is just to notice. And then if she's in the red brain, what do? We just help her feel safe. So we get low, we use our eye contact, and we allow her whatever feeling she's having in that moment. We don't try to fix it or make it go away. Eventually, she'll move into the more emotive yellow brain and she'll start to cry. And we listen. And then that feeling can integrate. Okay? If she says, only mommy now, daddy go away, that's going to be up to you to decide. Do we want to honor her request? That's what it is, her request in that moment, that mommy do this thing? Or is it a place for a boundary where, yes, I know you want mommy to do that, and daddy is going to do that today. So that's for you to decide. And that's a good thing to talk through with your partner, because it's very common for children to make those sorts of demands. And we want to listen how that feels for the partner on the other end receiving that resistance from our child. Oftentimes they feel like second fiddle, they feel bad, they feel not good enough. Ask your partner what feels most supportive to them. Are they open to you guys as a team setting a boundary with your child and allowing dad to do for whatever that thing is? If the child's truly really not feeling safe in that moment, is the partner okay allowing you to buckle their seat or whatever it is? And process with your partner that it could be that your child is just wanting to use their voice and have a say and feel powerful. So if the partner can minimize their reactiveness and not be like, oh, you're hurting me, that is so mean, you're so mean to mom, daddy, that hurts daddy. Minimize all of that, because it's actually negatively reinforcing the child and the power-seeking behavior that might be happening in that moment. But if the child sees that it's no big deal, it's just a choice, just like if I choose a red cup or a blue cup, that will minimize the risk of the child thinking, I'm flexing this, I'm hurting daddy muscle, right? So we want to really minimize the reactiveness that we might be engaging in and respond instead. And again, go back to your own sense of, what do I want and need in this moment? Is this a boundary moment where, it's impractical? Mommy's already in the driver's seat. Daddy's standing by the car seat, and daddy's just going to click that car seat. And it's just a boundary. And I'm going to deliver it in as calm and as safe a feeling way as I can. Or is this a situation where I'm looking around and I'm thinking, that's no big deal. I can tuck you in tonight. Where they're saying, I want mommy, not daddy. And you're thinking, yeah, I got the freedom to do that. So do you see where it really wants to be in alignment with what feels good and right and highest for you as a family? All right. So I'm looking at, I want to process, and thank you very much. What a beautiful question. All 4 of those. Thank you so much for being here. I don't think we have any other questions live in the house. We might, so I'm going to stop the share and make space for anyone who might be here live. I'm looking in the chat room. If you're here live, go ahead and raise your hand if you do have a live question. Otherwise, I think we've met all the questions for November. Yes, we are complete. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.